I was spare changing the other day here in Eugene, Oregon, and some guy approached me and asked if I knew anyone who was interested in hallucinogens. I am always looking for hallucinogens, so I said I was and asked what he had. He said he had some pure Datura extract. I had absolutely no money, but he gave me some for free. He told me that I had about an hour and a half to get out of public. I went to my friend's apartment to return her bike and see if she would babysit me. She wasn't there, but her roommates were. They let me in and I sat down, and they told me not to get too comfortable because they were leaving in 10 minutes. I went to drink something and then went immediately to the bathroom. After I pissed, I went out, drank some more water, and then went immediately back into the bathroom. I was in there for a few minutes when they started yelling that I had to get out of the bathroom because they had to leave. When I opened the door, I was asked what the fuck I was still doing there, and I said I had to use the bathroom and to calm down. I wasn't all that coherent at that point, and the male roommate took a verbally aggressive approach to me, and I asked him, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He then threatened me with violence if I didn't get out. I left. I don't remember the next few hours at all, but I have pieced things together. Next, I found my way into their neighbor's kitchen. I started playing with things in their kitchen. Then they asked me to leave also, and I did, not really realizing what I was doing. I then went to the lower level of the apartment complex and attempted to open all the doors on that level. Then someone in the complex called this free clinic who helps the homeless, like myself, and they sent the Cahoots van over. Basically, they go around Eugene and pick up people who are too fucked up to be in society. I had a hard time getting into the van because I had a hard enough time walking or anything else. They then took me to this clinic and got someone I knew to come and take care of me. After a little silliness and me not understanding where I was and why I couldn't leave, I made up a bed out of all these pillows and a sleeping bag. I laid down and attempted to sleep, but whenever I tried I would have these intense visions or dreams. I am not quite sure what they were. One of these visions took me flying over Eugene. I could see places I hang out at and all sorts of other shit. Then my vision started to take me to all sorts of different settings, and there were people there that I would talk to and they would talk back to me. I could hear them, but no one else could. These types of visions lasted for hours and hours. I also had no clear concept of the people who were around me. I only knew who one was for sure. At one point in the evening, I went into the bathroom to pee, and after I started peeing, my dog ran in, followed by another dog and a small puppy. They all started drinking from the toilet, and I saw the puppy jump in over its head and start to get flushed down the toilet. Then I stuck my hand down into the toilet to save this puppy, and my friend grabbed my arm, telling me that there was no puppy whatsoever. When I went back into that room, I could have sworn I saw my friend there with her daughter. Her daughter was asleep at first, so I was all quiet, and she soon awoke. I didn't know where her mother was, so I picked her up and started to comfort her. Then I asked if she wanted any water, and she responded with a nod of the head. I then got someone to get me a cup, and she then didn't want any. I made her a bed and put her back to sleep. I found out later the next day that my friend and her kid were not there at all. I mistook a stuffed white bunny rabbit for my friend's child. There were a lot more visions after that. At one point I could have sworn that my bed was infested with spiders. I am arachnophobic, so that didn't go over well with me. I shook out my sleeping bag and then moved my bed to a other point in the room. I was laying down again and I heard someone yell, "Hey _____, phone call." I then yelled, "I got it." It was my mother on the phone saying that she was in Eugene at this hotel and I should go and see her because she had a surprise for me. I left the room and my friend asked me where I was going, and I just said I would be right back. I had completely forgotten my shoes. I found where my mother had told me to go, although I didn't remember her giving me directions or a cross street. While I was walking there, I felt a presence behind me and I turned, caught a glimpse of someone and blinked and then disappeared. After I got to the motel, I couldn't find the room number she had said. I looked all around the parking lot for her and couldn't find her worth a damn. Then I saw her sitting in a car at the end of the lot and I walked over there. She wasn't really in the car. I then went up to a higher floor and was looking around and I didn't see her, but I could hear her. I then started seeing other people who, when I looked directly at them, they melted into different things like telephone poles and signs and trees. Some of the bigger trees, I was convinced that they were just on the other side, so I would keep talking to them and then chase them around the tree. After a while, when I couldn't find my mom, I started thinking of how we had a family reunion that same day and it was in NY, and I knew for sure that my mom was in NY and not in Eugene. I gave up and couldn't find my way back to where I stayed. I then went to a neighborhood I knew was familiar and got my dog and some food. It was a very crazy night. I don't remember all of it all that clearly, and at times, I was downright frightened. I found out a day later that some kids who also took Datura that same night ended up hospitalized and arrested. I guess I was the lucky one. I have taken a lot of hallucinogens in the past and at times in very large amounts, and was still not fully prepared for what I was about to do. Datura made LSD seem like a cup of coffee. I don't think I am ever going to do Datura again, unless I am in a different situation completely. Be very wary if you try Datura that it can kill you if you take too much. Make sure that you have a babysitter for yourself arranged beforehand and explain to them what may happen. The only side effect that hasn't gone away yet is that my vision was extremely blurry. I am still having trouble seeing perfectly. My experience lasted for a little over 16 hours.